Right, today I want to pop a myth really in regards to PIP and employment. There's a load of ambiguity about it, a load of lies and a load of gossip, alright? And I want to put this clear and make it straight to the point to you. You are allowed to work on PIP. Doesn't matter what hours you do, you are allowed to work. There is criteria and there are mitigating circumstances in regards to what allows you to work and what doesn't allow you to work. And if you was caught taking the proverbial whilst working where you stated you could not do this on your application form and the DWP recorded you doing this, it could be construed as fraud. That I'm letting you now know. But I have represented people who have done no more than 12 hours a week up to 40 hours a week, and they have been entitled to PIP. And that includes the daily living component and the mobility. All right, so that is fact. You are allowed to work. The bit that concerns me, and I don't know if it's government or whether it's our society or what it is everybody seems to think that someone else is getting more than what they are, whether they're on PIP or whether they're not on PIP. They hear someone's on benefit, they see him going to work, and they immediately say he's doing fraud. He is. Please, you got to be mindful, and if you're not disabled, then be mindful. If you are disabled, then you should be mindful. Disabilities come in all shapes and sizes. Disabilities, a lot are invisible, and just because you may have one disability doesn't mean that the person that you're suggesting is getting more than you are hasn't got a disability you're not aware of. It's this type of mindset which causes a lot of fear and a lot of unnecessary stress. Bitterness comes out of it, and people start accusing other people of doing things that they haven't been doing, and this ends up in the courts at the end of the day through this type of mindset. Therefore, I want to pop it. You are allowed to work, okay? Whether you're physically injured, like you cannot walk, you have to use a wheelchair. You use a car, you get a mobility car, gives you a parking spot. All you got to do is 15 metres to your office. That has happened. It does happen for people. Just because you work doesn't mean you still don't struggle in your kitchen at home, or you don't struggle in your bath at home, or you're not at risk in your bath at home or in your kitchen if you was not supervised. The other thing about working, especially for people with learning disabilities, potential brain injuries and so forth, even mental health. For prime example, going to somewhere to work is classed going to somewhere familiar, which shows that you can able to get to somewhere in a set time in a thing by car or by taxi, and you're set in a routine. But that doesn't mean that anything outside of that routine you can cope with. You are allowed to work. It also states working's good for you. The DWP encourage it. You know, the government encourages you to work. Your doctors, you're allowed to do permitted work. You are allowed to work, and you're allowed to do permitted work on ESA and universal credits, because whether it's only 10 hours a week is not you staring in your same walls for the rest of the week, and it's for your mental welfare as well as your physical welfare. For prime example, someone represented was swimming, and they were helping other disabled people to swim. They were entitled to PIP because it states that because they weren't bearing their own body weight, it wasn't causing them any more exacerbations of conditions whilst in the swimming pool. So they were given PIP. You are allowed to work. Please remove any myth, any bubble, or any other person's opinion, because they are lying through their teeth if they are telling you you're not to work. It also is not fraud. Okay, just there has to be mitigating circumstances that allowed you to work. Thank you for listening.